We talked about Elon Musk a little bit, which made me think of the Tesla truck that's going around.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Tesla truck SUV? What do you think about it?
Dope. Shit, the glass broke, but shit was dope. He does a lot of dope shit. Niggas ain't keeping up with him. He does fly shit. It doesn't mean he was again, he's a cool guy based on what he's done. So his swag comes from his success, right? But like my swag, and no disrespect, whether I made $1 or not, I was swaggy the whole way. You could look under the hood. When I was 16, I was killing them. And 15, 14, 13, and all of it.
Yo, this is Leo Black exclusively at Dame Dash Studios, and this is Leo Black Show.
Yo, Dame, so your last Breakfast Club preview was notorious. I mean, it went viral. Charlamagne wants you back. When is your next time at the Breakfast Club?
I guess the next time I'm out there. It's really not that deep. I don't think it'll be a problem. I was going to do it when I was out there, but the holidays had started. So, every time I go to New York, I have something to do. So I always have some shit to promote. I just had to clean up the bubblegum shit. I knew what I was walking into. So I handled it. Now it's time to move forward.
And have you and DJ Envy have just agreed to not disagree or to...
I ain't talking about them, man. I talk to Envy when I see him. I ain't doing that.
But there's no beef there, though, at all. Squash.
I mean, if there was a beef, it would have got handled. Pause. I don't have, halfway beefs with people. It don't be no beef. I be trying to explain, where I'm from, you don't have, a halfway beef. If you're not willing to go all the way, then you got to squash it. Period. So it's nothing that I'm willing to go all the way about, so it's not a real problem. And it was nothing. Nothing. I don't think people that don't see things the same, that shouldn't be considered a beef. It's just words. There should be no problems over words. It's stupid. There should be problems over actions. He has no action that makes me mad or that's compromised me or anything I'm doing.
That's facts. And more boss talk. I mean, recently you and Master P just met up. I'm looking forward to that. I got the hookup and the paid in full or the state property collab. I mean, those two producers get together. What is going to manifest from that relationship with you and Master P?
I mean, our relationship is more family. It's always been like a brotherhood. So, he's doing his thing, I'm doing mine. Hopefully one day we can, stop doing what we're individually doing and doing something together. But I can't put a time limit on that or a schedule, you know what I mean? Or what it even is going to be. You never know when things like that. We're creative businessmen, so a lot of things go on and you have to prioritize, what's going to yield the most. Because there's things that I do just for fun, just because I'm inspired in the moment. It's not for business, like make music. Like if somebody walks in here and they're like, yo, let's make a record, and I'm inspired by them, I'm not like, how much money am I going to make from it? I'm more like, how much fun am I going to have? And that's really how I do things. So it's really about the fun gauge for certain things, for most things. The money gauge for me is the network. And everything else is fun after that, to be honest. It'll yield, but it won't be what I'm depending on. I've mastered making money off everything. I'm a real hustler. It's in my DNA. So if I laugh a lot, I'm going to make money off it. If I get fresh, I'm going to make money off it. If I like to watch movies, then I'm going to make them and get money off it. It's just basically shit that I would do for free because I'm an artist, If you notice, this is a sound stage, but I don't call it a sound stage. I call it an art gallery. Those is walls, and there's art on those walls. So, my narrative is it's a gallery where we create art. That's why I call it a gallery.
And you and Master P having that relationship to where you just family, has there been any talk about making a movie?
Always. But what y'all don't realize is we're both executive producers on a television show for the last, 5, 6 years. So we do a television show together. It's called Growing Up Hip Hop. And it's actually going to be on the We Channel tomorrow. Thursday.
How has it been on Growing Up Hip Hop?
It's cool. It's just my life with a camera on me. Nothing different. it makes it where my kids have to be a little accountable because they don't be wanting to see me when I'm mad. But for some money, they come through, you know. So they have to stand in front of me at some point, at least for the camera.
And I mean, it being a reality TV show and it having a stigma that it does have, are you controlling your narrative on that show, Growing Up Hip Hop?
I mean, it's the truth. You know, I think it would be. Sometimes I get frustrated that they don't capitalize or showcase the depth and the scale of the businesses I'm doing. You know what I mean? But, you know, my stories are real. Like what you read about in the paper, you'll see in that TV show. They covered everything.
That's facts. More boss talk. Recently, you had a Chameleonaire at the studio. You said you haven't seen him in a while. Recently, he jumped into tech. Yeah. How do you feel about the tech business? Andrew Yang, one of our candidates, is heavy on tech as well. Where do you see that going in the near future, tech?
I mean, tech is distribution. I mean, everything is about tech. So he got in on it early. Like it's been a while. He's actually kind of like his name rings bells in that world. He's got in on a couple of things that have worked big. So people also respect his opinion on things. So it's just another way to make bread, and it's a good way, you know. I don't know how fun it is, but, you know, I've been in the tech world. It's cool. It's cool. A lot of raising money. The raising money thing bothers me. That's the only thing I don't like about the tech world, but it's, you know, it's a big part of it. I just don't like the process of raising bread because it doesn't work for me ever.
I wanted to ask about the Harlem is Mine movie with Forrest Whitaker. How do you feel about that?
Any movie about Harlem is dope. They better get it right, you know. But, you know, he's doing the Bumpy Johnson thing. That shit's dope. Forrest Whitaker is a great filmmaker, so, yeah. I think the more movies about Harlem, the better. Why? How you feel about it?
I think it's dope.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, I love Forrest Whitaker.
Can't wait to watch it.
It's going to shed light on it for real in a different way. Recently, we seen you heavy in rotation in New York. You had a Central Park walk. You ran into Smoke DZA. What was that like?
You know, Smoke's my brother. You know, he had called me. He was like, "Where you at?" I was like, "I'm in the park." So he pulled up on me. And we had a good conversation. And then, you know, he had a custom Gucci coat from Dapper Dan. I felt like he was fronting on me. So Louboutin was up the block, so I just went and just bought everything I liked in there on him real quick. I mean, you know, we're Harlem guys, so a lot of the fun is just flashing and fronting on each other. You know, guys that real Harlem guys, they appreciate when somebody's doing well. It inspires them. You know, so our game is to just front on each other. You know, it's a friendly competition. It's a Harlem thing. It keeps you excellent.
Facts. I seen the Dapper Dan Gucci coat on him. That shit was fresh. It was hot.
You stunned them.
Made you want to go get some fresh Gucci's. Was those the Louis shoes, the Louis boots, or those was Gucci? Those batons, right?
I definitely got right in touch with their tailor and Dapper Dan's crew and was like, I just didn't have time to get down there. I was actually talking to them today.
What's your relationship like with Dapper Dan?
Very respectful. You know, I mean, it's funny because I used to buy coats from him. I don't even know if he remembers that, but yeah. But when we talk, you know, it's always very respectful, and we both appreciate what we've done.
Of course, and of course, 2019 there was a lot of controversy around Gucci. They're making the racist sweaters and stuff with the black faces on them.
Yeah, I burned some Gucci's for that.
What was your take on that?
Somebody made a mistake, man. In Italy, they be flagrant. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck. Shit is different over there. It's not like America. So, you know, their perspective on things may be a little more humorous, you know, and, you know, that's why I burned some Gucci's. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to wear them no more, but I did burn some behind that with David. Sebastian.
Yeah, I just wanted your take on designer in general. I mean, because obviously you produce music videos and things like that, so you know that wearing designer can make you look more appealing, and it can bring you more money. If you look like money, you attract money.
Dressing
the
is
law
an art.
of attraction, but also
swag is an art, bro.
And that's what I was going to ask too. Also, I mean, there's been like quotes and books around it, even pictures surfacing about, you know, wearing designer and how it's just a waste of money. Pictures with like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, and they're like, no Gucci belt in sight, things like that.
I don't know about all that. You know, you look at those pictures, those guys didn't necessarily have so much fun doing certain things, and they didn't grow up the way we did. So, from what I understand, Elon Musk comes from a, multi-million, maybe billion-dollar family regardless. So, he might not embrace fancy things because he's always had them. But when you have a lack of something, when you can get an abundance of it, you have fun with it. So I think it doesn't make sense to pay for clothes before your own bills or before investing in yourself. But if you have it, also being fresh doesn't necessarily mean someone putting a name on you. That's kind of like cheating to me. So that's why I make my own clothes, because I have confidence in me and the way I make my clothes and my brand and what it represents. So, I make my own shit. You know what I mean? And I think that takes confidence. Like, being fresh doesn't mean, being fresh, like buying somebody's name is like bottle service. You know what I mean? It's cheating. There's no swag in knowing something is, dope just because the name's on it. You should be able to discover something and make it fresh. But just because everyone else says something's fresh, that doesn't make it fresh. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why I wear batons is because it's just red on the bottom. You got to be looking. You know what I mean? But if it was, most of the time it's very rare I wear something that has someone else's logo all over me. I don't like that.
It's a phrase that goes around: wear the clothes and let the clothes wear you. I mean, you definitely rocking your shit, so.
Always. And like I said, I made all this. My name, my dog, my point of view, my cut, my fit, down to the socks.
We talked about Elon Musk a little bit, which made me think of the Tesla truck that's going around.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Tesla truck, SUV? What do you think about it?
Dope. Shit, the glass broke, but, shit was dope. He does a lot of dope shit. Niggas ain't keeping up with him. He does fly shit. It doesn't mean he was, again, he's a cool guy based on what he's done. So his swag comes from his success, right? But, my swag, and no disrespect, whether I made $1 or not, I was swaggy the whole way. You could look under the hood. When I was 16, I was killing them. And 15, 14, 13, and all of it. So it's like when swag is bought or it comes from, success of something physical, is that really swag? It's a certain kind of swag. But I'm not the guy that gets the girls because I got bread. I'm the guy that gets the girls because I'm that guy. You understand what I'm saying? When I was young, I used to take pride in getting the girls that everyone paid for free. You understand? Like, I'd be like, y'all paid, and they'd be the rich guys, and, the girls would want to kick it with me because I was the cool guy. The best car only gets you the best girl when you're around a bunch of herbs.
Yeah, elaborate for those who don't know what herbs is.
If people don't know who what herbs is and they're watching this show, but Herb is a Johnny. Just, people that aren't so clued in, that depend on other people's swag to determine who they are. Very insecure people. People that have no humor, people that pretend they're people that they're not.
Facts. In this generation, a lot of millennials are probably wearing that hype beast tag on them. All right, so recently, we seen you running through New York, going crazy. You recently had a show out there with the Black Guns. Can we talk about your music for a bit, what you have going with the Black Guns, BK Harbor Mill? How was that show? Obviously, it was sold out. It was crazy. People loved it.
Yeah, it was hard. Pause. We had a good time. I like rock and roll. I like instrumentation, and I don't see too much. And I've been trying to get artists to do it, and no one will do it. So I just started to do it myself. And, Tash is the best guitar player on the planet, for real. So I can't lose. And, I just really have a ball. It's just, me just rocking out. And a lot of the records were relating to what was going on in my life in that moment. So it was almost like I had a theme album for every day I was out there. I had a song. So it was like, line them up, shut them down. That was about problems and fuck you, pay me, people trying to rob me, and, all that shit. Don't get scared. All that shit. It's all about dealing with life, embracing the challenges, and having fun with it instead of being scared of it. And, if I'm going to walk it, or rather if I'm going to talk that talk, I got to walk it. And there's cameras on me, so I can't be this confident unless I'm really about that action. So, the records reflect what you're seeing. And the action isn't like, super gangster shit. I ain't doing nothing illegal. I'm just dealing with things, and, the things I'm trying to conquer are way bigger than most. Not many people have a television network. Not many people have bet it all on themselves and put all their money on themselves and paid other people to help them make their dreams come true out of their pocket.
That's facts. And the camera's all on you at all times, even if it's at your studio or if it's TMZ. We even called it DMZ, trolling a little bit. Harvey talking about he liked the colors of Dame Dash Studios and shit. Kind of troll you.
Well, I told him DMZ.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, we could do it. Call it DMZ. I'm with it.
What's your relationship with TMZ?
I mean, they report stuff. So I guess if I'm doing things that are interesting, and what I like about TMZ is when they do cover things, they cover it. Like, they covering it. If you don't say nothing, then they're going to make up their own narrative. But they're covering the narrative the way it's honestly happening, and I'm okay with that. See, when I wasn't in New York, the narrative was like people were just saying whatever, and I wasn't really thinking about what people were saying. I wasn't there. But, in front of me, the narrative needs to be correct. I'm here. So now that I'm here, they get to see what's really going on. I want them to cover the real story. I have nothing to hide. The more people that put cameras on while people are doing injustice, it makes it easier for them to get busted, or at least to have accountability. But in business, too many people try to rob you and get away with it because of technicalities. But morally, it should be fucked up. So, if niggas ain't gonna fuck around and care about it on a business level, at least the moral people will know who the champ is. I'm the champ, period.
Obviously, and you let that be known too, especially at the deposition. I mean, with the lawyer Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that a little bit? The deposition, that viral moment.
That's the guy that's been trying to get me locked up and steal my movie. Chris Brown, the lawyer, and Mike Munster, and Josh Weber, and Brian White, and they were trying to be cute and do some kind of dumb case in New York, knowing I had warrants, not thinking I could go and show up. And they were trying to make me look disrespectful to the court. And I wasn't. I just couldn't get out there. And I didn't have it in the moment. They had been, the government had been snatching up a lot of my bread. And the second I got locked up, 10 minutes later, he called my lawyer like, is your client going to be ready for the deposition tomorrow? Thinking I wasn't going to get out. I knew then he had called him. He's the one that sent the deposition to TMZ. He's a snarky, nerdy thief. And I'm human. So when they put me in front of him, I answered the questions, but in between that, I was letting him know my opinion of him in a very legal way. So I wasn't being rude to the court. I was being rude to him. But, I don't understand how people expect me to let someone just sit there and really flagrantly sit in my face and lie and try to rob me, try to get me arrested, try to steal my money, and think I'm going to be polite to him. It's not going to happen. I can't do it as legally as possible. I don't cross none of those lines. But that's why I like depositions, because you got to be in front of them.
Obviously, and
the lawyers ain't shit, and he ain't shit.
And obviously, I mean, that's known. Chris Brown ain't shit. He's a work for hire. But why is he still around? What's his role in your case?
Man? I just feel like he must have gave them the wrong advice. So he's the lawyer, and then he went and did this other case, solicited some other project I did, Mafietta, and did some frivolous lawsuit in New York as well. The same circumstance. People, when I make a movie, they try to steal the footage, copyright it, and act like it's theirs. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, because I be having the whole shit on tape. But, again, it'll play itself out. I'm not worried about it. There's no loss here for me.
Absolutely. And I want to speak on a situation recently that went viral only because you're in television. It's a guy named Omni Hellcat. I don't know if you're familiar with him. But he had IPTV, and he used to sell this on Fire Sticks. And apparently he found like a loop, like a gray area in television and cable with Fire Sticks and IPTV to where he was able to sell this legally. But the feds didn't like what he was doing because he didn't file his tax for over like 3 years. I hear he got 3-4 years. He made some M's. He was driving like the new 2020 Lamborghini, going crazy, 2040 exotic cars. And the feds just came and snatched it all up. And he was like, I thought I had, 3 years. I found I was going to file him a couple months. It was a couple months before 3 years, but they still came and grabbed everything.
He was buying everything cash?
He was buying everything cash. I mean, he's a self-made millionaire. He was young, reckless.
And paying no taxes. Yeah. I mean, the thing
he
about...
didn't pay taxes in 2.5 years, and he was going to pay the third year. Supposedly, he had 3 years.
Whatever, man. He was getting the wrong advice from... that's the thing is when you get first-generation money, you don't really know the rules that come with it. And, you're held accountable no matter who you pay for advice and who gives it to you. You're the one that has to suffer. So somebody gave him the wrong advice, and he listened. And the person that gave him that advice, I hope he didn't pay them, but, accountants have been robbing me for years. Like, back to back to back. Barry Clawberg is the worst. It's like Justin Timberlake's fucking accountant. This nigga ain't shit. He robbed so many different people, man. They're still around. Because you don't know your money's fucked up till you don't have it. Niggas are skimming and doing all type of dumb shit. And then when it's gone, they just break the fuck out. And you have to then you got to talk to the IRS. Like, I paid 250 racks a year to find out that the nigga didn't pay my taxes and took $1 million out my account and considered it a fee. And the IRS is the ones that told me. It's not even illegal. And then you got to get to rectify the situation. You got to go to court and deal with the politics that takes so long, and it's more lawyers taking more money from you. So that game is like you have to be tolerant of bullshit, and you really have to know. It's like to true success, you almost have to get robbed first to know what not to do next time. You know what I mean? Because they if they see you green, they taking advantage of you. It's like they supposed to.
And this is the Leo Black Show with Dame Dash.
You got a big picture of yourself back there.
Facts.